Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. The minis that brought a new secret to Hearthstone, Celestalon has made a new secret again, and the reward is this card pack, Solve the Mysteries Hidden Throughout the Castle Nathria. This one is by no means as difficult as the previous ones. It was actually solved on the very first night while I was still sleeping by the Secret Finding Discord, so kudos to the Secret Finding Discord for the solution. On the other hand, you still need to do a lot of work on this one because there is a random element to it, so I can only give you like guidelines and rules on how things work, but I cannot solve the puzzle for you. But anyway, let's take a look at how to access the secret and how to solve it. First of all, in order to access the secret, you need to queue into a wild ranked game with this deck. Deck code is down below in the description. There is currently a bit of a problem in that the secret only launches in the English version of the game, so you need to change your client language to English if it's not English. Perhaps that will be solved in a later update. I'm also a little bit worried how long this secret will be available, because many of the cards in this list are core set cards, and core set cards can change, so who knows what's going to happen. But anyway, at the moment, take this deck, queue a wild ranked game, and you will start the puzzle. Ranked wild, here we come. But instead of ranked wild, we get this puzzle. So this puzzle, you need to order these 10 characters to the right order compared to these 10 locations. And how do you do that? Well, each of the locations has clues. Scrap of cloth in this one, for example, and the second one is unknown. And each of the characters also have clues. Torn cloak in this one, for example, and 3 of these are unknown. And as you can guess, all of this is going to be random, so there's no one clear solution to this. The most important tool for solving this is a key to these puzzles. And the key looks like this. So when the location asks for anima residue, you want to have cut on hand. When the location asks for candy wrapper, you want to have a minion that has chocolate on fingers. And so on and so forth. So have this one open while you do the puzzle. There's also a link down below to Hearthstone Top Decks guide, which also has a copy of this if you want to have that one open. But this is really the key. However, things are not quite that simple. Each of the locations has 2 clues. Each of the characters has 4 clues. And there are multiple copies of the same clue, but there is only one correct order. So you have to be able to match every character so that you will have every character that matches the location clues. And there's only one set that's going to get that done for you. Also, right now, I only know half of the location clues. I only know a quarter of the character clues. I can get access to more clues by using search for clues. You can use this 2 times each turn, so you can unlock 2 rows per turn. It's typically better to start with some location clues, because that will give you a better idea, but at some points you may also want to unlock character clues to really fit everything in the right position. You also have one use of hero power, make an accusation each turn, in which you can check whether one of your pairings is correct. It's going to show fireworks if it's correct, and it's going to just like boo if it's not correct. So one pairing can be checked each turn, 2 additional clues can be revealed each turn. When you press end turn, you will take 1 damage, so you have 10 turns to complete this all. And obviously, because you are missing 40 pieces of information and you can unlock 20 pieces of information, that means that you can't unlock nearly all of the data. Also, once you click end turn, this is another very important thing, you will get fireworks. And the number of fireworks animations is the number of correct pairings that you have. You don't know which of the pairings are correct, but you know how many correct pairings you have. So people have been comparing this to Sudoku, to Wordle, to Mastermind. It's a puzzle where you just need to set everything in the right order. And it's generally a good idea to write down the correct pairings, write down your progress. But if you're feeling a little bit adventurous, you can also try to do it by keeping everything in your mind. It's also important to note that when you move characters, like I move these characters here, well, they work like Hearthstone minions, so they also move all the other characters. So just moving a single character somewhere is actually a little bit tricky because everything else moves as well. On the other hand, you can do a swap by just moving one character and then moving another, and then everything else will go back to their previous places. So swapping 2 characters is pretty easily done. The way I like to start this puzzle is by setting everyone that I can to a matching description. And then we start to move on from there. checking one pairing, revealing a couple of probably locations at the start to see if we can get more matching pairs, and then end turn and see how many fireworks we get and then move on from there. So let's try to solve this puzzle. Here Castle Kennels is asking for a scrap of cloth. So scrap of cloth, I have on my other screen I have opened the list. Scrap of cloth means torn cloak. Well, Rarran has torn cloak. Alright, so that's a match. Of course, that might not be the right match, because there's only one correct solution overall. Even if you have a fitting pair, it's not necessarily correct. Then we're looking for crumbs, and crumbs means eating a cookie. Do we have anybody who's eating a cookie? Well, Zeddy is eating a cookie. Then we have claw marks. Claw marks means sharp claws. So do we have anyone with sharp claws? We don't have anyone with sharp claws, so that one's a little bit of a puzzle right now. We might actually use one investigation on that one, so we unlock the second clue, which is wood shavings. And wood shavings means a whittling knife. Do we have anybody with a whittling knife? We do have one with a whittling knife, so we can try that pairing. Then we have small gloves. Small gloves means petite hands. I think we had petite hands somewhere. I'm quite certain I saw petite hands. There's petite hands. Lost reading glasses. Lost reading glasses requires a steamy romance novel. Do we have a steamy romance novel here? We do not. We're going to try to investigate there. Used handkerchief. Used handkerchief requires sniffly. Do we have anyone who's sniffly? We don't. So currently we don't know who could even possibly be a match here. Then we have candy wrapper. Candy wrapper requires chocolate on fingers. Anyone with chocolate on fingers? I think we had chocolate on fingers somewhere. No, not there. That's chocolate on fingers right there. Then we have scrap of cloth. Scrap of cloth requires a torn cloak. We have a torn cloak over here. So we can swap these around so that we will have the candy wrapper, chocolate on fingers still matching, scrap of cloth, torn cloth matching. Then we have small flower petals, which requires flower in hair. We have flower in hair. We have a feather. Feather requires pet bird. We have a pet bird there. Then we have a scrap of cloth, which again requires a torn cloak, which we don't have. Okay, so we were unable to set 2 pairs to even tentatively be correct, but we were able to get 8 ones that could be correct. We had multiple torn cloaks, right? Yes, so we could just now check whether this torn cloak here is correct. It is not. So I think we're going to try to switch these around, because that Rarran definitely did not belong here. But now we have scrap of cloth and torn cloak, like that. And let's see what happens now. That is the first turn. How many do we have correct? That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. There's a pretty slow, and there's a 4. We have 4 correct ones. Is this... I'm going to check if this torn cloak is correct here now. That one is also not correct. So we have tried 2 characters with torn cloak on the leftmost one, and neither one of those was correct. We don't have any more torn cloaks, no, at the moment. So we could actually search for clues here, see what else could be here. Mud on the ground. Mud on the ground requires muddy boots. Do we have muddy boots? We actually have muddy boots over here. Lost reading glasses, used handkerchief. We're going to swap those muddy boots over there. We're going to try if that's going to be a match. And then we could also do more investigation. Eating a cookie, crumbs, marks, whittling knife and wood shavings, small gloves, petite hands. Reading class, used handkerchief. We don't have anyone else requiring torn cloak, right? Actually, that one still requires a torn cloak. So we're going to try Cymox in the Dawn Cloak position there. And we're going to investigate a little bit on this Arallon, because we know Arallon is not matching any of the clues we have at the moment, so we need a new clue for Arallon. Let's see what happens here. Last turn we had 4 correct. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have 7 correct. And at this point, I really hope that I would have written things down, because then I would be able to figure out better which ones are correct now. But I only changed 4 positions, and 3 of those became correct when I did. Is the Muddy Boots Draga now correct? There's a pretty good probability that it is. Let's switch Draga over there. Actually switched these 3 around. These are the only ones who changed places, and all of them are now correct, right? Because I switched Arallon twice. So those 3 are correct now, I think. If I had written things down, I would know better. So write things down. Crumbs eating a cookie. Let's test this one now. Okay, so Kel'Thuzad is also correct. So now I'm quite confident I have these 4 in right places, plus 3 others. Whittling Knife, Petite Hands, Chocolate on Fingers, Flowering Hair, Pet Bird, Carrying a Candle. Carrying a Candle, Scrap of Cloth. That is not a match, right? It is not a match. Scrap of Cloth would require Dawn Cloak. But my Dawn Cloaks are now in the right places, I believe. So, what else does Mugpools require? Claw Marks. Somebody had claws. Did somebody have claws? Not that I know of, no. But this Olgra is definitely a major candidate for being in the wrong place. Pet Bird, the Feather. But who are the others? So that 1, 2, 3, 4 is right. If I have kept up to speed here. Carrying Candle doesn't fit anything. We'll try to search for clues here. Used Handkerchief. Used Handkerchief is Sniffly. I don't have any good indication on where Olgra should go. I'll just try to swap those around. See what happens. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have only 6 correct. So one of these was in the right place. But which one? We will have to test that, I think. Olgra is still in the wrong place, so this was actually correct. The Steward was in the right place. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I think I know of. There's another 2 now that are correct and 3 that are wrong. And one of them that's wrong is Olgra. Flowering Hair, Chocolate on Fingers, Candy Wrapper. Olgra has that Carrying a Candle thing. Chocolate on Fingers, Candy Wrapper. Small Flower Petals, Flowering Hair. I could also try to investigate Olgra here. Olgra also has a pet bird. But I know this pet bird is already in the right place. And I don't have another feather. Not that I know of anyway. I'll investigate Olgra again. Where do you belong, Olgra? Where do you belong? Dry Skin. Dry Skin is a match with White Flakes. Nope, none of that makes any sense. We're going to try to swap these two now. We're trying to find the right place for that Olgra. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it waits a while, which is a little annoying. 4, 5, 6. 6 again. So that was also in the correct place. We want to swap these again. That's also in the correct place, and chocolate on fingers, candy wrapper, petite hands, small gloves, hallmarks, wood shaving, Karen Candle, pet bird, dry skin. We'll investigate Olgra once more. Look at everything that Olgra has. Chocolate on fingers. Olgra has chocolate on fingers. So maybe Olgra goes here. Let's check if Rafam is in the right place. Rafam is in the right place. So we're going to try... We're going to try Olgra here. Then we're going to try... Bashi over there. I believe that's how we're going to try this. So the investigating Cecily. Whittling knife. Alright. Let's try this. 1. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Solved. So that is how you solve the new secret in the game. And as I said, this key to matching clues together is the most important tool that you can have in order to help you solve the secret. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.